Today's had a little bit of everything, but one thing it's suddenly had is a little bit of Rogue Mage. 2 Rogue Mages making it through to Championship Sunday already in Method Black and now Diabolos. Now we get to see if Change My Mind can follow suit. They will be playing in our next series against the Pinguins. The Pinguins looking to cause a little bit of an upset, but they had a rocky start to the day, losing a couple of games down to our newcomers, the Jungle Cleave. I'm Healing Stat, and joining me on the desk we have Vinruki, Super Tees, and Zico for our elimination series here, guys. 2 more series today. We will go from our top 6 teams to our top 4 teams who will play on Sunday after the North American bracket tomorrow. And of course, all of the top contenders are still in it when it comes to the summer finals. We've seen through 2 teams to Sunday. Diabolos and Method Black currently lead to the end. Change My Mind are tied with Zyzon, who got knocked out earlier today, and then Wildcard Gaming and Enlight are the 2 teams in pursuit. So those guys will be playing up later. We're expecting Change My Mind to win this, and honestly, if they were to be upset here by the Pinguins, that would probably be the worst case scenario. Good chance, therefore, that Wildcard Gaming would overtake. They really need this victory, so.
All right, let's see if they can do it here. That 4th spot bubble point is starting to be fought, put on contention with Change My Mind now in the lower bracket, Enlight in the lower bracket, as well as Wildcard Gaming. Zyzon already eliminated. Summer season is coming to a feisty conclusion.
Yeah, Yestave trinkets out of a Garrote Silence into a full kidney shot. Blessing of Protection comes in. They're looking for an all-in on Minpoike. He traded out the Bark Skin, but that's it. There was beautiful peels from Acro in that situation. Full Ring of Frost, Polymorph over onto DJ Alex. There's no damage. Maddox completely fine. Yestave's completely fine. Now they're going after Acro in an attempt. Penguins, they're getting aggressive early on, but they don't really have the damage to back it up.
They don't have the damage to back it up, indeed. Although working through that Gladiator's Medallion is certain a major objective point. There's still a significant difference, I feel. DJ Alex and his Paladin is almost never running the Avenging Crusader. Caught in a polymorph off the back of Acro's Smoke Bomb. Yes, Dave in a lot of trouble. Gladiator Safeguard procs. Big absorption effect, soaking up all of the damage. DJ Alex sitting in blind. Trinket sacks and gets a Vision of Perfection proc, I believe, so that's perfectly lined up to allow for easy recovery. Change My Mind knows that that recovery is going to happen, so instead abandon the kill and polymorph Yes Dave instead. Yes Dave now looking for a Greater Pyro Blast. Acro moves over to kick him swiftly and deny that big burst of damage. How do you feel about Greater Pyro in the matchup, Ben?
I don't like it that much, if I'm being honest with you. I think it's hard to actually get a Greater Pyro Blast off, especially when you have an Assassination Rogue running after you. I think going for the short cooldown Combustion is a lot better. It gives you more consistent damage in the map, because if you look at Yes Dave, the only real damage he has rolling in this match is going to be Fire Blast, Pyro Blast from the heating up procs. If he was able to spam out a lot more fireballs, then it would be more pressure in favor of him, and I think that's why a lot of mages have opted out of the Greater Pyro Blast in this specific matchup. Yes Dave actually just trades out his Ice Block. That was really, I don't know what happened there. He ice blocked and then immediately came out of it. I'm not entirely sure why.
Could cost him game number 1. Temporal Shield about to end and heal Yes Dave back for a decent amount, although not substantial enough that he'll survive. Divine Favor is active. Can they remove Divine Favor from DJ Alex before he gets the heal? No. Big heal on Yes Dave, but now a Polymorph secured, and this is going to be the Cauterize. It could be the end of the game. Cauterize definitely going to proc here. Yes Dave, is he going to be able to make it alive? Blazing Barrier, absorbing a huge amount of damage. He blinks back to DJ Alex, but the polymorph has ended, but the Cauterize is triggered. Yes Dave in desperation on the run here, trying to counter pressure, popping the Combustion, looking for a counter kill. And Poike denies it and blocks with Iron Bark, and now it's Yes Dave who has basically nothing left. The next polymorph secured onto DJ Alex is likely to be the end of the game for Penguins.
Yeah, Yes Dave looking for a Greater Pyro Blast, gets Garrote Silence into a Garrote Silence into a Kidney Shot. Yes Dave getting completely controlled. DJ Alex trying to avoid the polymorph. There's decent damage on Fried Kitty at this point of the game. Yes Dave manages to hold on. There's good damage rolling. Minpoike in a full blind. He trinkets. Fried Kitty getting low. And I don't think Fried Kitty has another Ice Block. I'm not sure when he used his first Ice Block. I didn't actually notice it. Maybe he had a Cold Snap for that. He was interrupted on Frost, but all of a sudden, both mages don't have any Ice Blocks left. And then Poike's got no Trinket. And I feel like in this situation, the Penguins actually have a lead.
This is surprising. If the Penguins can overcome Change My Mind's Rogue Mage Druid here, perhaps Rogue Mage Paladin was the answer all along. You know, the answer to Rogue Mage was Rogue Mage. DJ Alex in the polymorph, and he has to make a decision. Does he trinket it into a blind, or does he try and sit it and trinket the blind afterwards? Yes, Dave has nothing really to survive on his own for a few more seconds. DJ Alex now bashed. Yes, Dave relying on that Gladiator safeguard, along with the Temporal Shield, absorbing all those hits, but not healing him back for nearly enough. Divine Favor sneaks in. Yes, Dave cycloned at low health, buying time for the diminishing return to reset of Polymorph on DJ Alex. Fried Kitty gets stunned by Matic. They drop Smoke Bomb. It's almost in desperation to save Yes Dave. He's so low on health while his Paladin sits through Cyclone Chain. Acro goes for an aggressive Cloak of Shadows. Comet Storm comes crashing in, and there is just no defense remaining. Change my mind, take game 1.
Yep, change my mind. Well played here in game 1. The Rogue Mage Druid able to defeat the Rogue Mage Paladin, and change my mind. We would expect them to win this series. It's one of those situations, Ben, where, I mean, it's nice to see Penguins. They have so many different multiple options available to them, but if they are to win this one, it would be such a big upset given change my mind's stature in Europe right now.
Well, I just feel like in this particular matchup, it's relatively even. I mean, in the past, we would have said that the Fire Mage Assassination Rogue Paladin has a big advantage. Maybe it does, but it's not one of those matchups where you can just win easily. I mean, you have to be as good as Change My Mind or even a little bit better in order to win that matchup. And Penguins, their execution, I have to say, wasn't ideal.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to, right? Penguins, they have to set up the perfect kind of storm where they get the crowd control and they get a one-shot, preferably over onto the Rogue or onto the Druid. Whereas Change My Mind, they need to deflect that, they need to try to prevent that from happening, and they're going to have a much easier time getting crowd control over onto the healer. DJ Alex has to push in to get into the open, to land those Hammer of Justices. And DJ Alex also he's a paladin. He can't really just go into cat form or bear form and avoid it. So I feel like that's the key things between the matchups. And then, of course, the Fire Mage also just does way more damage in terms of these burst opportunities when that CC chain does land. Whereas the Frost Mage, a little bit more durable, a little bit less burst. So I don't know. Depends really. But in this situation, yes, Dave goes down, and I don't think it's due to the matchup. I just think Change My Mind is the more experienced roster here.
Yeah, I think that's the fair way of looking at it. Sometimes we think the Rogue Mage Paladin is better, but maybe we're just looking at a better Rogue Mage Paladin, and then the next time we see Rogue Mage Druid winning the matchup. So it's one of those that can swing either way. Penguins is probably their best bet, but up against the formidable Minpoike, Fried Kitty, Acrolos, who we saw almost take Method Black in Mirrors. They took them to Game 5. There's a very good chance that they would struggle in this one. That said, you know, they're choosing the smaller map, and one thing that we certainly have said is that the Rogue Mage Paladin, if it were to have an advantage, would be on those smaller maps where they can find the opportunities easier.
Yeah, it's much easier to connect onto Minpoike on a smaller map, and it's much easier to just get those CC chains. And the Rogue Mage Paladin just they need the momentum, and it's just easier to find on a map like Dalaran because
very interesting.
I don't like that. I would have rather seen, you know, something like this maybe on game number 1. I would have never rather seen this, but if you are going to be playing this composition, I would have rather seen it in game number 1, and then on the smaller maps play the Rogue Mage Paladin, just because it's much easier to get some work done there. But now we know Arma is here at least.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. We always say that the reason that Death Knights and Warlocks lose against Rogue Mage is because they're on a timer and they lose at 30-40% dampening. What if you put them both in the same composition? I don't think anyone's tried that yet. This is actually
Double
pretty
the
interesting.
length of the timer?
Yeah.
Do you double the length of the timer? Is that how math works?
I don't think
Yeah.
so.
Well,
Ben, you don't sound very convinced. I actually think this is a pretty interesting pick. You got a lot of burst damage, you got a lot of overall damage. Maybe you can punch them for pushing in, or maybe you just lose them down.
You have no dispel.
You have no mortal wounds.
You have no mortal wounds and no way to remove any buffs.
Fried Kitty's just going to run around in Nova Arma, and then they're just going to tunnel down Yes Dave the entire game, and that's going to be the story of this matchup.
I actually believe in this composition. I want to know what you guys think. I know every single analyst on my desk feels like there's absolutely no way. There's a part of me that believes in it.
How many games do you have to watch at Destruction Warlock getting tunneled down by an assassination
But there's
rogue?
a difference here. The DK can stop the drinks of his diseases. I actually feel like that matters a little bit, maybe, possibly.
Maybe.
I mean, we're about to find out.
That's going to be the win condition. If they can somehow put out enough damage and stop Minpoike from drinking, that's the win condition of the match. Otherwise, I don't know how Penguins is actually going to close this one out. I don't think it's going to be from some big attempt in a big one-shot that they have, you know, capable. If they Change My Mind, will have full control of this matchup. But if they can just put out the damage in this match, then maybe they can win.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Yes, Dave had a phenomenal performance in the first game of Penguins on that Destruction Warlock. Let's see if he can get a repeat performance here. He's already summoned out those Infernals, looking to create a lot of pressure, but change my mind, I'm just kind of ducking, respecting the damage. Arma immediately looking for Minpoike, and I'm interested to see what kind of strategy they're going to be going for here, because the Rogue Mage Druid strategy is pretty straightforward. Land CC onto DJ Alec, and actually they do get the follow-up there as well from Minpoike. They drop the smoke bomb, frozen orb onto Yes Dave. He's going to have to use the unending resolve immediately.
Yeah, that is putting Yes Dave incredibly far behind early on, although they are counter-pressuring Fried Kitty quite heavily, as they may be able to get an ice block. Minpoike and a polymorph stolen by Arma. Perhaps we shouldn't have sold this composition so short.
Ooh, Fried Kitty dropping super low here. Okay,
is this
they
real?
get an ice block.
Is this real life?
All right. Feeling that right now, he's very happy that he made the prediction that maybe Penguins can actually win this matchup, but is this just completely out of left field? You can't help but think if Penguins knew this was a winning matchup, they would have just picked it in game number 1. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I would have thought, but now they may be in trouble. DJ Alex in a blind, a full poly. Surely this is the Divine Shield or some type of crowd control breaker. No, please! Divine Shield sacrifice going to keep Yes Dave alive. Now cycloned at low health by Minpoike. Opportunity knocks here. Can they remove the Divine Favor? They spell steal it. Big heal loss for DJ Alex. Acro in a stolen Cyclone. Minpoike in a fear. 3 versus 1 on Fried Kitty. Will Iron Park be enough? Chaos Bolt gets stunned. Fried Kitty able to wrap around the staircase if he needs to. They're going to spell steal the Blessing of Protection as well. I mean, that is the most amount of damage we've really seen against the Rogue Mage, is the Unholy Death Knight Destruction Warlock. The problem is their defense is now totally cracked open. Vendetta comes up in 40. I mean, what do you do?
They got an ice block. I mean, that's good. That's a good start, but they got a long way to go. Let's be completely honest. And if you look, Penguins, they have nothing. DJ Alex has got no trinket, no divine shield, no sacrifice, no blessing of protection. Yes, Dave, he's got nothing left also. Fried Kitty's going to be moving forward. Acro managing to find a stun with a full polymorph on DJ Alex. Yes, Dave right now trying to keep himself alive. He manages to find 1 Chaos Bolt, 2 onto Acro, but the damage just isn't there. Acro with the feint manages to hold on. Arma actually trying to get some pressure rolling onto Minpoike. This is good. Minpoike's in a little bit of trouble. DJ Alex, he's going to be moving forward, trying to help him out. As Arma's just chasing Minpoike across the map. He wants to take him down so badly.
They're playing absolutely just for the all-in, and now I think their time is run out. Yes, Dave, very low on health, out of line of sight. Thunder's Maledict absorbing tons of healing. DJ Alex dispels it. He needs to get the Divine Favor heal. Goes for it, gets it. Big recovery. Acro gripped off. Yes, Dave. He's going to be pretty happy about that. Now fearing Minpoike, catching him out of position. Trying to create some potential here onto Fried Kitty, but not finding any damage. Maybe with a stolen Cyclone from Arma. Certainly the Dark Simulacrums of the Death Knight have been a big benefactor to the Penguins' momentum. Now Smoke Bomb is dropped. Unending Resolve available in 1. Actually, Blessing of Sacrifice available now as well. But a full blind. Yes, Dave stalls.
No
Double
breakers.
Mortal Coil. Can they get the? They get the polymorph. This is looking good.
Alex caught up in that polymorph right now. Yes, Dave in a little bit of trouble, but do they have the follow-up CC here? I'm not sure. DJ Alex now in a bash as well. Yes, Dave caught behind the pillar. Frozen orb. I think DJ Alex should be able to connect that Hand of Sacrifice here. Okay, they don't overlap. They only use the unending resolve, but is it going to be enough here? DJ Alex has his Divine Favor ready. He's going for it. Gets spell stolen. They casts the counter spell of Fried Kitty.
Beautiful.
What a legend, DJ Alex. He for sure would have went down right there.
He for sure watched some Zaryu clips.
He for sure would have went down there if he didn't make that play. Beautifully done there by DJ Alex, but like Sid said, if that mage was Zaryu, he probably would have hit that counter spell.
Yeah, yes, Dave's still low. I mean, DJ Alex doing a great job, but this is going to be his ultimate sacrifice, almost certainly. But no, a large heal connects. DJ Alex trying to hold on, but it's a full polymorph. He uses the sacrifice on Yes Dave, redirecting the damage and getting out of the polymorph. Nicely done there by the Penguins, holding on in this match. Arma just caught into endless crowd control. Look at this Death Knight. Gets polymorphed into a Frost Nova. He's just trying to go after Minpoike in the match, but Unfortunately, he has to come back and try to get something rolling over onto Acro. This tape gets interrupted. He uses Demonic Gateway to get away. Acro in hot pursuit has the Vendetta. There's no Blessing of Protection. There's no real catch-up mechanics for DJ Alex at this point in the game. Yestave's caught in a kidney shot behind the pillar. He trinkets. He's out of the line of sight. He's really overextended. This kiting from Yestave is a little bit questionable. I mean, DJ Alex tries to get on top of him with the Divine Shield and the Divine Seed. He's basically pulling out every miracle out of his pocket to try to get back to Yestave and try to keep him alive.
I feel like Penguins, they just like pick this comp. They're like, what? I don't know what beats Rogue Mage. What do we have? All right, pick those and put them together. Imagine if they actually had games on this comp. I mean,
maybe they do. How do we know they don't?
I feel like, do they have games as this comp?
You have to ask them. I don't know. No, we'll see. DJ Alex in a polymorph. Yestave taking a little bit of damage right now. Still low. There's another polymorph over on to DJ Alex. Yestave just holding on by a thread. Cheap shot comes in from Acro. Yestave in defiance with the double Mortal Coil, trying to stay alive. He's in a Garrote Silence. There's still so much trouble. Full kidney shot lands. Massive pressure here from Change My Mind.
DJ Alex again, fake cast with the Divine Favor, gets stolen by Fried Kitty, jukes it out, tops off Yestave. Honestly, Yestave right now, he has 9 lives, and it looks like he wants to claim Acro's life here because he's caught up in that fear, and Arma is looking to close out the match here. Poike, what are you going to do? Acro dropping dangerously low.
No way!
Stat against all odds. We have found a new counter for the Rogue Mage.
Zico, give me your comb. I need the comb right now. That was absolutely incredible.
You actually don't know where
He's struggling to find it right now, dude.
No, I always know where my comb is.
That's not actually true. You lost it. You got really upset already.
Oh, I would never.
I earned the comb. I earned the comb with this
the other
one.
night.
Absolutely incredible. The DK Destruction Warlock. Of course that was the answer. Actually, Abstush was typing in the chat a little bit earlier, and he was saying he actually thinks that RLS could be an answer. Shaman, Warlock, Rogue. But I actually think this makes more sense. Maybe I would swap the Holy Paladin out for a Resto Shaman, and I don't think it's consistent. I don't think there's a 100% win rate of any comp against Rogue Mage right now. But I do really like this composition. I can tell you for a fact, playing a Resto Druid against this composition is really difficult. Like the Hammer of Justice is super scary into the coil. Death Knights do a lot of burst damage, and I actually think this works both in terms of offense and defense. And the defense wasn't even perfect from the Pinguins. We saw some, I want to say, questionable kiting coming in at points from Yestave, and they still managed to win the game.
Absolutely. I mean, we're going to see it once again here. Just look at DJ Alex. You're going to see that cooldown that he's about to pop right there. Fake cast. That's the kind of spell of Fried Kitty. And honestly, most Paladins would have gotten locked out there, and the Warlock would have died. And that happened twice this game, so it's pretty rare to see a play like that come out from the Holy Paladin. Usually the Mage is the one making that big play, but DJ Alex holding it down right now, representing the Paladins of Europe, and more importantly, Sweden. And Acro here, of course, caught up in that Shadow Fury. Poike has no healing really to catch up there with, and no Cloak of Shadows. Gonna be able to take him down.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely incredible. We were saying maybe we found the counter for the Rogue Mage with the Warrior Mage. Didn't seem like it. We'll have to see if they can beat Change My Mind here. It's a very good start. The Penguins actually take a map with DK Warlock. We're at a tied ball game here. Penguins bringing out the Death Knight and the Destruction Warlock to beat the Rogue Mage Druid. I can't quite believe it, but at the same time, the composition kind of makes a fair bit of sense. You know, Destruction Warlocks, DKs, they have a lot of damage. They have the diseases to keep the Druid from drinking, and in terms of defense, not too bad either. That said, this is Rogue Mage Druid. This has changed my mind, and they're not going to go out without a fight.
Is this the counter to the Rogue Mage Druid all along? Hidden in the shadows, Destruction Warlock and Holy Death Knight, Holy Paladin. Poike the target early on by the Penguins. Gladiator Safeguard gets shredded. Barkskin and committed. Are they just going to tunnel the Druid? Looks like they can't keep up the chase. Poike escapes.
At what cost, though? I mean, he's Barkskin, he's Ironbark, he almost died. Safeguard proc. Poike is going to be running and hiding, playing chicken for a little bit in this game. He is playing the Balance Affinity, so it is a little bit appropriate right now. And look at Acro, he's using everything. He's got no evasion, he's got no Cloak of Shadows, he's got no Vanish. The first Infernals of Yestave just completely forcing Change My Mind. It's really defensive position, but now things have slowly started to even out. Yes, Dave is getting low with the polymorph on DJ Alex. There's a Cyclone as well. This is disaster time. DJ Alex is going to have to use a sacrifice. Maybe not, though. The Gladiator Safeguard to get spell stolen off. Yes, Dave could easily just fall. Mortal Coil comes in. DJ Alex, how are you still not using anything? Very greedy. Yes, Dave could have easily fallen. Both these teams are just dancing with death. I mean, at that point, at least they held on to the unending resolve. DJ Alex still has his trinket sacrifice, but what a scary moment.
One thing Penguins have going for them is they've got nothing to lose. There's no way that they can catch up on points, whereas Change My Mind, if they lose this, there's a good chance that they're not top 4. So Penguins, they've got that going. Perhaps they'll just catch them off guard. They're playing, what do you want to say, a little lackadaisically, just kind of moseying around, attacking whatever they feel like. And they're really just catching Change My Mind off guard due to almost the randomness of their tactics in this game in the lower bracket. Change My Mind can't afford to lose.
Yeah, I mean, Arma, he's going to be pushing forward, trying to keep up the pressure on that mage. Right now, Fried Kitty actually having to play defensive. A Fear was used by Yes Dave on Minpoike into a full Hammer of Justice. Minpoike trying to run away, but Arma finds the Asphyxiate stun. Minpoike could be in some trouble. He's dashing, he's running, he's hiding once again, crossing the map. And this is a situation Change My Mind has found themselves in before, and is actually the reason why Acro went down in the game number 2, is because they can force Minpoike to run away. This composition, this Unholy Death Knight, they have a lot of pressure on Minpoike. He can't afford to just sit there and tank through this damage. And I think because of that, it creates windows of opportunity where now Acro, he's got no Cloak of Shadows. That makes him vulnerable moving forward.
All right, let's see if they can close it out here. Vendetta available, no Unending Resolve. That is a big push potential for Change My Mind. Can they get into position to execute on that strategy? Acro sets up the team. Fried Kitty gets the follow-up. Yes Dave in a stun. Perfect situation to end the game. DJ Alex needs to get back to Yes Dave. He gets nobody. Freedoms. He connects the Divine Favor, but now in a Cyclone. Still has the Gladiator's Medallion to break out. He's got to measure whether or not he needs to. There's not much health left to measure with. They spell steal the Gladiator Safeguard. Sacrifice connects right before the bash. Now Yes Dave looking to get aggressive, but who's he going to attack? 2 ice blocks remain on the mage. Evasion for Acro. Barkskin for Minpoike. He cyclones Yes Dave at low health. Acro's on top of both players. DJ Alex and Apollo. This should be KO. Even with the anti-magic zone, Yes Dave is just so low on health. DJ Alex doesn't have many options. He gets polymorphed again on the Holy Avenger. Now in a blind. Trinket's blind. Goes for the... Can he get the Divine Favor? He's Cyclone. He gets stunned. They spell steal it. And that's going to be it. Yes, Dave taken out and Change My Mind, move to match point.
Adrian,
okay,
you were saying?
I mean, if they could just live. That's why I actually think the rest of the show would be better here. But I mean, obviously DJ Alex is playing the part. And I'm actually really curious though if DK Warlock has some sort of answers into the Rogue Mage. At the end of the day, we're kind of clutching at straws here because we haven't seen anything. This is the second week, honestly, where we haven't really seen anything. You get your cone back. I get it.
What were you saying, Adrian?
Yeah, the big brain is still over there on the other side of the desk. But I mean, it's still nice to see Penguins able to pick up maps, maybe with a little bit more cleaning up. I mean, I still vaguely believe in this as a composition, but in that game, it was just too good offense from Change My Mind.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think if Change My Mind plays right and they don't, you know, if they can respect the fact that Minpoike can definitely get deleted like that in the start, and that Acro, if he uses his cloak and his evasion and things like that offensively, he can definitely go down as well, they will be in big trouble. And they forced out the Divine Shield of DJ Alex earlier on in the match, cloned on his Hand of Sacrifice, and then all they need to do is find one more little crowd control on DJ Alex. Pride Kitty, he snipes it. DJ Alex, he has his trinket here, but he has to get off a Divine Favor heal, and it's just a little bit too difficult. He trinkets. Actually, he gets repoled right there into a blind, which he trinkets. And then Divine Favor, he gets Cyclone on it, and then of course he's gonna get spell stolen off in that cheap shot right there as well. And that's gonna be it. No more breakers for DJ Alex, and even if he had a breaker, he would still need to get a cast off, and that's the thing. Rogue Mage Druid, if the game goes long, they should win.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels like that, the way that it was playing out. But, I mean, this is kind of the situation. Changed my mind, obviously, looking good to advance through to the top 4. But I want to talk about these compositions, because even if we don't think the DK Warlock is a good composition overall, like, I don't think any of us think they would actually win a best of 7 against Rogue Mage. It's not a counter. But these sorts of wildcard picks do seem to work against the Rogue Mages. Like, sometimes they get thrown off a little bit. It takes them a while to adapt. Should we see more teams trying this? For example, Wildcard Gaming, they play so many different classes. Maybe they could play like DK Rogue or just some kind of like wacky composition like that to pick up a game, because it's similar to what you were saying in the last series. They won 2 games with the Warrior Mage, but it's very possible that if a Rogue Mage isn't practiced, like, it's so easy to get practice against Rogue Mage because everyone plays it, whereas if you play something else, maybe you can have a small advantage, at least for a game or 2.
Yeah, I think the one thing that makes that difficult, when I was thinking about my criticism a little bit towards wildcard gaming, is you really have to change your mindset. The thing is, you're playing against a team that is only playing Rogue Mage Druid, right? They're going to be warmed up on that composition, whereas for Looney, it's going to be different. He has to go from playing the Restoration Druid all of a sudden to playing the Paladin, and they have to play it at that very top-notch level. There's no room for them to make any mistakes, but I do think throwing in these sort of oddball compositions to really keep these teams that are getting really comfortable being on top, the Rogue Mage Druid teams, I mean, they have a lot of these matchups figured out. It's a solid composition overall, but there is comps that on certain maps can certainly go toe-to-toe with the Rogue Mage.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it is, right? There's some comps that have a decent win percentage, and then if you can outplay, you can get the victory. Either way, Change My Mind are 2-1 up in the series. They're 1 game away from Championship Sunday here, guys. Penguins have put on quite a show for us today. We had a lot of fun with them in their first round. Now in the second round, able to take a game off of one of the Titans. If they could complete the upset, it would be honestly astounding, but they're up against it. Change My Mind, looking to advance through to Sunday.
And we'll have to see what they can do. 6 seconds before the gates open on this map. Yes, Dave, Arma, DJ Alex looking to completely defy the meta in this series right here. They've been getting a lot of solid pressure on Minpoike whenever he pushes in, but at the end of the day, it just seems like Change My Mind with the amount of control they have over Yes Dave and DJ Alex not really able to defend himself. It's really difficult for the Penguins. However, maybe this is eye-opening for some other teams. If they can bring in a Restoration Shaman instead of that Holy Paladin, maybe this is a winning composition.
Penguins are suited up for battle here, taking 1 game against the Rogue Mage Menace. Can they take the whole series, though, is the question. It's looking a bit unlikely, as Change My Mind found victory on the previous map. Caught off a bit off guard on the one prior, but now that they've got a solid strategy of just extending the match, doing hit and runs, it's going to be quite difficult for the Penguins to push them over. Arma is attacking Minpoike, now coming back to assist Yes Dave. Infernal's called in. Yes Dave going for an aggressive start in this game, which is match point. DJ Alex blinded, trinkets. Fair trade on his part, although not paired with any cooldowns just yet. And Poike gripped in, but maybe a miscommunication. There was no stun. He's just easily going to jump to safety.
Yeah, Fried Kitty just trying to get control of the situation. Acro still has basically every single one of his offensive cooldowns. He's going to be waiting to get set up. They just need crowd control on DJ Alex, and they know it. DJ Alex, with no trinket, he's going to be vulnerable. Fried Kitty lands the polymorph on Arma. DJ Alex running on the Divine CDs. Heidman. Poike also, I've noticed, is playing a lot more defensive in this matchup. He's not going to be pushing in. He doesn't want to get too aggressive. He actually gets gripped in into an Asphyxiate stun, but that Ring of Frost from Fried Kitty should help deny a lot of the offense available. DJ Alex in the Ring of Frost from Poike trying to run and hide. He gets the bash onto DJ Alex. Yes, Dave, in a smoke bomb. Right now, Change My Mind. They're getting aggressive, but Minpoike may have overstayed his welcome. Has to trade out the Iron Bark. And at this point, Change My Mind, they've completely recovered. Minpoike did a good job. All he had to really trade out was that Iron Bark. And they're slowly but surely burning through some of the defensive cooldowns Penguins have available.
Slowly but surely climbing back here. Although, I don't know. They're in a pretty good position. Yes, Dave, 10%. DJ Alex pops the Avenging Wrath. Needs to be careful to not be interrupted. Fortunately for him, there aren't actually any available, so he connects some big heals. Yes, Dave stabilizes him, and Poike gets stunned. They're going after him. He's going to trade Barkskin. However, this may be a composition that he doesn't have the most amount of experience against. He could be caught off guard in the swap.
Poike's just dead!
And Penguins are trying to take this to a game 5. Barely holding on.
No! I can't believe it! How did Minpoike survive? Penguins are so sad right now. They got everything out of the way. Minpoike greeted it so hard, but still managed to hold on. Unbelievable. Good peels coming in for Fried Kitty and Acro to their credit, but I feel like that should have been a point in favor of the Penguins, but now changed my mind. They have an opportunity. There's a full polymorph on DJ Alex. Kidney shot over onto Yes Dave. Fried Kitty has Icy Veins rolling up in just 10 short seconds, and that's when they can really start getting aggressive onto Yes Dave.
All right, let's see if they can do it. Another swap attempt. Infernals this time. That's going to be an insane amount of damage. Arma getting 100% uptime.
He's actually dead.
Gets chopped. Penguins out for blood here, going to game 5.
I really like this composition from the Penguins. I mean, I don't think they should win that quickly. I feel like Poike needs to respect when he doesn't have, you know, the Trinket the Bark Skin. But at the same time, the fact that they actually have kill pressure against a Rogue Mage is something that 99% of compositions don't have. I'll be taking back the pick for this one as we head into game 5, Zico.
Yeah, I mean, Poike honestly had to just overuse way too many. Okay, we get it. It's in your pocket, and not in mine. I mean, Poike, he just used way too many cooldowns, honestly, on that first attempt. He literally just survived here, and then he gets caught up once again. Now, a lot of that is obviously because of the map as well, but you just had a near-death experience with Poike. You should kind of just relax, maybe not throw out those cyclones, play a little bit defensive. Instead, Arma is going to be able to reconnect to him very, very quickly here. And as soon as that happens, when you don't have Trinket, you don't have Skin and Iron Bark, you're just going to flop immediately 100 to 0. You can see here DJ Alex and Arma, they're deflecting an attack here onto Yes Dave. But as they have their sight set on Minpoike, there's the grip, Hammer of Justice. He's not in form. Infernal's coming out from Yes Dave. And, you know, Mortal Coil to follow that up. I think there was an Asphyxiate stun there as well. So just a beautiful lockdown here from Penguins. And honestly, when you see setups like that, it just looks like this is actually something that they have rehearsed, because they didn't leave any gaps there. And, you know, I've played thousands of games with Acro, and it happens, you know.
That was actually really nice. I mean, I actually thought Minpoike had pushed in, but he just got gripped into Hodge. Yeah. I mean, I feel like he was trying to respect them and their cooldowns and their offensive pressure.
Should have been a bear, though.
Yes, he should have been he should have, yogied it up.
I just think it's all three classes. They work together really well. Like the Death Knight can grip, and then you have the Paladin stun, which is the best stun in the game, and then you have Mortal Coil, which is the only lockdown that isn't on stun DR. So I actually think this is reasonably threatening. Better, well, I mean, sure, but it's from a healer, right? Like, that amount of offense from a healer is pretty good either way. I mean, my point is, there's a threat there. The Rogue Mage has to respect him. Minpoike maybe not throwing enough respect. We're actually going to game 5 here. Change My Mind could be eliminated before the top 4, which would be absolutely disastrous for them. Well, we've seen it all today. We've had 5 series now, and 4 of them have gone to game 5. So close, the team's stepping it up here, and finally, we might have an answer to the Rogue Mage Druid. We thought we had it with the Warrior Mage. Now we see DJ Alex and his Penguins tied 2-2 against Change My Mind. It's a big map, it's a big task, but they might be able to take down Change My Mind.
I thought Change My Mind were going to knock Penguins out of the tournament 3-0 and send them to Madagascar, but they're looking to try and stay alive in the lower bracket, eliminating one of the top contenders for the top 4. That would definitely be a feat of strength indeed for the team of the Penguins, playing a peculiar composition. Can they precisely land their crowd control on Minpoike to secure another victory? Tiger's Peak selected, a pretty neutral map, no real advantage there, and that is the strategy. That is the name of the game. Kill Minpoike or die trying.
Minpoike going to be in a little bit of trouble. Hammer of Justice, Infernal Stun, Mortal Coil. They're still all over him. He uses his Trinket. He uses his Bark Skin. He's trying to run. He's trying to hide. Manages to get away. Good peels coming in from Acro off the back of that Vanish, landing stuns on all 3 members of the Penguins, slowing down their offense and allowing Minpoike a little bit of room to breathe. But the next attempt, there's no Bark Skin. There's no Trinket. And Minpoike could easily fall unless he can get that preemptive Iron Bark off. That will keep him alive, but it's got to be a heads-up play.
Well, let's see if they can get it going again. Switching to Fried Kitty for now, but DJ Alex is in a polymorph. Yes, Dave is in trouble. They disrupt the crowd control. DJ Alex is going to pop that Avenging Wrath, increasing his healing. He should be able to get a big Holy Light here pretty shortly. Maybe worried about getting interrupted, but now the kick's out of the way. No counter spell. Yes, Dave is going to stabilize. How are they going to set this up? Potentially they bait Acro around the corner, attack the rogue, and then when Poike moves into heal, they grip in Poike and they stun him up. Perhaps that is their best option. Poike anticipates the stun. He's in bear form for it, and Poike looks a lot more prepared here on Tiger's Peak.
Poike, Mortal Coil comes in. He has the Iron Bark available and ready to go, and that keeps him alive. Now they're looking to make their offensive push over onto Yes Dave. Bash onto DJ Alex. Yes Dave gets interrupted. Nicely done by Fried Kitty. And I feel like if things go according to plan, Change My Mind can just keep Poike alive. They can deny these big setups that the Penguins have available. Slowly but surely, they'll start developing a massive lead in this game. Theoretically, I mean, that's how it's supposed to play out, according to everything we've seen, but Penguins have managed to find these massive moments of burst onto Poike, and they can easily take him down if they find the damage. They have the cooldowns, but it seems like Yes Dave is just so far on the back foot. DJ Alex is forced to trade out his Divine Shield, and he still hasn't topped off Yes Dave.
He still hasn't topped off Yes Dave. The last cooldown remaining. Blessing of Sacrifice. The last line of defense. Penguins can't dent Poike here in game 5. He's more than ready. They're gonna have to, I feel like they're gonna have to change their strategies, go after a different target, but they're reluctant to do so. They're still just trying to chop him up. Iron Bark activates, Poike gets grip back, but Yes Dave is stunned, held at bay. Avenging Wrath active. DJ Alex needs to connect some big heals. Counterspell available. He can't afford to be interrupted, or he won't be able to use that Blessing of Sacrifice. So instead, Yes Dave going to retreat away alongside DJ Alex. Arma's going to get crowd controlled in midfield. Vendetta available. Acro has the game-winning cooldown, and it's likely to be utilized on Yes Dave, but that window is slipping away with only 7 seconds left. Acro overextends, gets stunned on his trinket, gets the Gladiator Safeguard procced onto him. Great surprise attack by the Penguins.
Acro is far away on the mats at this point. He's looking for a re-stealth. I guess he feels like he's potentially overstayed his welcome. I mean, he's got no trinket, he's got no vanish, he's got no cloak of shadows, and I think Change My Mind is actually respecting Penguins a lot more after their 2 losses. In the first couple of games, they were willing to play a little bit over-aggressive in the matchup, and actually, this is what's really interesting to me is I feel like Yes Dave, even though theoretically it's not super good for Destruction Warlock to go into the Assassination Rogue, having the Paladin to back you up with the Ultimate Sacrifice, the Blessing of Protection, the fact that he has, Trinket and Divine Shield to get out of a lot of the crowd control that Change My Mind has available, and that Hammer of Justice to help Yes Dave out. There is a lot of windows of opportunity for the Penguins. They can hold on until dampening. It's actually Acro, once again, is in trouble. Poike trades out his trinket. They overlap Cloak of Shadows with Iron Bark. He's actually disastrous for Change My Mind. Penguins are finding a lot of openings.
Great strategy adaptation by the Penguins. Perhaps that can be enough for them to close out match point and knock Change My Mind out of the competition. Is the Death Knight Warlock Paladin going to be the Rogue Mage answer? They've got one more game to decide. Fried Kitty double blinks, but out of line of sight of DJ Alex. Now he gets gripped on his poly. Fortunately, Poike was there. He's going to get a Cyclone, but they need to land a Polymorph. No Dark Simulacrum selected by Arma this time around, opting for more damage in this specific matchup. Trying to add some extra burst to the fight. Can they close it out? Double stun combo. Acro could be in trouble. He's going to faint. Really relying on that. No follow-up, unfortunately, out of the stun. I could see a stun into fear ending the game. Arma lands potentially the game-winning interrupt. Acro evasions. Again, overlapped with the Iron Bark, but Yes Dave's in trouble. DJ Alex trinkets out of blind. Both teams on the ropes in game 5.
Yeah, Ice Block coming in from Fried Kitty as well. They're looking to get aggressive. Klepto meaning a spell steal onto Yes Dave, but Fried Kitty has to play defensive. He actually resets Yes Dave's health. Acro is in so much trouble. He has nothing left. There's no evasion. There's no cloak. If Penguins can push in, it could actually close the game. The question is, are they going to be able to do it? Yes Dave moves forward. Poike in a Hammer of Justice into an Infernal Sun. Poike is in so much trouble. He's trying to run. He's trying to hide. Acro looking to reverse the pressure on Yes Dave. Fried Kitty getting some damage rolling as well. Change My Mind in desperation, trying to hold on, although they're completely on the back foot at this time in the game, but the potential to reverse the damage is massive, and Poike is still low. He's got the Iron Bark, but look, Penguins, they have nothing left, Sid. They could easily fall in one more CC chain.
It's a race to the finish here in game number 5, and Poike's almost out of mana. He's out of cooldowns, and Arma knows it. He's going to go for the kill. Popping Icebound Fortitude to get aggressive. Anti-Matter Shield to get aggressive. Be aggressive, Penguins, here in game 5, because that's all they've got left. Yes, Dave, though, is going to get taken out. The push gets stopped, and Change My Mind will advance in the lower bracket.
This is... Go ahead.
I was just going to say the zone hit the ceiling. If he'd hit the anti-magic zone, they actually would have survived to the sacrifice there, which is, it's painful to see.
Yeah. It's looking like a disco ball up.
I don't know what you were going to say. I'm super curious
I was
now.
going to say, from what we've seen in the open bracket and in this tournament so far, there is teams getting so close to beating the Rogue Mage. Lots of different compositions. I mean, we saw the move from the Shadow Priest to Rogue Restoration Shaman. We're seeing this team bring in the DK, Warlock, Paladin. We saw Wildcard Gaming almost win with a Warrior Mage Druid. Teams are getting a lot closer to figuring this out, but still, it just seems like the Rogue Mage Druid is always prevailing.
Yeah, I got to say, though, and I will return...
You give that to me.
I mean, to you? Okay.
I don't know why I'm taking it, but I am.
All right. Well, that's kind of one of the benefits
you don't
of being
need
in
it.
the middle. And
I
guess,
really need it.
You're allowed to share, but yeah, Sid, I don't think you need it.
I haven't gotten home.
I mean, I got to say, it is even that matchup. It went 2-2, and Change My Mind. You would expect them to win this. The Seeker. So I still think this is kind of something worth pursuing. I'm very curious if any of the North American teams, for example, the boys, they have a very good Death Knight, a very good Warlock, and potentially Greki could play any healer. I'd be curious to see how that plays out. But talk us through these final moments, Zika.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see that as well from the boys. But yeah, like you mentioned, at this point, they did the all-in on Minpoike after they forced out every single cooldown from Acro with that overlap. And then after that, they just couldn't really close the match. Unfortunately for them, they ran out of breakers, and DJ Alex got caught up in a long CC chain, and that was it. I mean, this was the, final ditch effort here, the final all-in, and you can see Alex caught up in a polymorph, a lot of damage over onto Yeste with that frozen orb, and then the re-polymorph, and of course that zone hitting the ceiling, not exactly where you want it.
Yeah, I mean, if that zone had hit, they probably would have got through to the sacrifice. Poike didn't have a Cyclone available since he was dying, essentially, on the other side of the map. So, I mean, maybe things could have gone a little bit better. At the end of the day, it was a really good try from Penguins. We expected them to get 3-0'd. So, I mean, huge shout out to Penguins. They've been a really good fixture in the last couple of tournaments. Really appreciate Dave and his team giving us some good entertainment here at the AWC. Changed My Mind, though, were too good on the day. The Rogue Mage Druid from them, strong enough to prevail through to Championship Sunday, taking one of our top 4 spots. Now we get to find out who will be our final team in that top 4. It's Wildcard Gaming going against Enlight, and of course these are the two teams currently sitting in the 5th and the 6th spot in the European qualification. Wildcard Gaming, I believe they're 20 points off pace, whereas Enlight are about 50-ish points off pace. So if either of these teams get eliminated, it's pretty bad situation at the bare minimum for them. Both of them really want to win here, Zika.
Yeah, and that's the thing, we're really, really narrowing it down here. If Change My Mind would have lost here, Zyzon would have probably been celebrating pretty hard, because then at least they're still in the running. They still are, but they have a tall order as well. And, Enlight, they have probably the tallest task of everybody, because Enlight, they need to have another, basically top 2 finish here to be able to really catch up with all of these teams, because they are so far behind, and there's only 2 cups left. So knocking down, one of those teams that are in their opposition, definitely a good first step.